It is more complicated, but it's really rewarding when you get it right. So what we're going to make this time is a little bird that flaps its wings when you pull its tail. This is a harder piece of origami, but it's actually what got me interested in origami in the first place. I was about 10 or 11, I'd gone along to my guide meeting and we were doing some craft that night, and this is what they taught me to make. It took a lot of work to get it right that night. It was frustrating, but I came home, I practiced, and the next thing I knew, I was off to the library, found a book, and it's been about 30 years since, and I'm still enjoying making these. So if you do find this one difficult and frustrating, I would encourage you to just keep trying at it, but it is more complicated, but it's really rewarding when you get it right. So, as before, what you need, let's just put that out of the way, as before, square piece of paper. If you're using a piece that's coloured on one side and not on the other, start off with the coloured side upwards this time. That way, you'll end up with a coloured model at the end. First thing you need to do, we're going to put it like a diamond this time rather than as a square. And we're going to take this corner and fold it down to the opposite corner. So you're folding it to look like a triangle. Fold, open it, turn it round and do it the other way. So you're folding, so you've got a cross in the middle. There we are. Then turn your piece of paper upside down. So now you've got the white side upwards. If you're just using a piece of paper with the same colour both sides, don't worry about that bit. So now we've got it like a square, and we're going to fold the straight edge down to meet the straight edge. Open it up. And then, as you can probably expect, we're going to turn it round and we're going to make that final fold. So then you should be able to see that you've got almost a star shape of folds. You've got folds coming from the middle of both sides and from both corners and meeting in the middle. So, this next bit, watch carefully, is maybe one of the more complicated bits. Is I'm going to hold this first corner down. I'm going to squeeze this fold at this side and bring that corner down to the bottom. I'm going to do the same this side. So the fold that is there, you are going with it, squeezing it together. Now I've got my fingers in a muddle. Squeezing it together, bringing it together, and it collapses into that square shape. I'm going to do that again, because it is a little bit difficult. So, holding that bit there, squeeze this one together, bring it down, squeeze this side together, bring it down, and the top square folds down on top of it. That's called a basic form. That's one shape that you'll need if you try and make many other origami animals. It can be a bit frustrating to get to, but well done. So, now what we need, I'm going to turn this back around to face me, so otherwise I get a bit confused. So you'll see, there's the middle of the paper where it's all joined together and there's all the flappy bits. Turn it round so that the middle of the paper is away from you and the flappy bits are at the bottom. Now, we're going to take the top flap here, take this bottom side, this open side, and bring it in so it lies along the fold in the middle. And then again, you repeat it on this side. Okay, so if I open them out again so you can see what we've done, we've brought it in and brought it in, okay? And then I'm going to do the same again on the other side. So we turn it over, we bring the side in, and we bring the side in. And I'd suggest at this point, it looks a little bit like an ice cream cone. You can probably just about see your cone and your ice cream on the top. So if you can imagine your ice cream cone, what you now need to do is melt the ice cream. Fold it down on this side, pick up, turn it round, and fold it down on that side. Okay, ready for the next complicated bit. So, we open up those two flaps, put your finger on top of the ice cream and hold it in place. And get hold of this this top flap if you like. Pull it upwards until that first fold you've made. Now, at the top here, you've got two folds, which I'm hoping you can see. You need to actually fold them back on themselves, so they're going in the other direction. So you're folding along the same path, but going in the other direction. We'll have to do this again on the other side, so if you've not quite caught it, don't worry, we'll do it again in a moment. But we end up with a diamond. So, going through it all over again. Let's fold that one out of the way for now. Open up the flaps, put your finger on the ice cream at the top of the cone. Pick up just that top flap, bring it upwards, and where you've got your two folds that you just unfolded a minute ago, turn them round so they're going the opposite direction. Try and turn it round that way so you might be able to see better. And it gives you a diamond. Okay? And then we fold that back down there. We're nearly there. If you're still with me, you're doing really well. So, you've now got your almost kite shape. What I'm going to do is to open up that side a little bit, and you've got a flap here. So what we're going to do, again, it will come up quite naturally on its own up to a certain point. So you're going to bring it up, and then you're going to fold the side back on itself again. So it's now pointing upwards. So again, we'll do it again. Open up, bring this upwards, and fold it back closed again. Now, if you struggle a little bit with your fingers, you might find sometimes it's helpful if you've got a knitting needle or something where you've got little points in there. I can get my nails in to help it, but if you need a knitting needle or something, that always helps. Okay, so we then need to fold these little flaps upwards. Now, with your pinching fingers, hold this corner, hold it all together. And then on this side, one of the two spiky bits, you need to pull it outwards a little bit so it gets to an angle. Gets to an angle you like. It's where you're making the head and the tail. So that's the angle you're looking for. Bring it out and then just squash that bit together at the bottom. Then turn it round again. Hold it together at one side, pull this bit out and squash it. Then what you need to do is to just curl the wings down a little bit. So you've got your head and your tail. Now, I find that sometimes these fly one way round better than the other. So before I turn one of them into the head, I'm going to see which one's going to work better. So, holding it tightly together under here, you pull just gently outwards. Let's try it again. Pull outwards. Doesn't want to go that way. Let's try it around the other side. That's the way this one wants to fly. So as you pull the tail out, it pulls the wings to flap. So for this one, that's going to be the head, that's going to be the tail. And then your final bit is to just open up a little bit where the head is, fold a little tiny bit down and squash it back together. Again, might be a bit difficult, keep going on that bit. You will find it will eventually fall into place nicely. And there we are, your bird who flaps his wings, or in my case now, two birds. If you managed to make your way through this, well done. That was a difficult one, but I hope you enjoyed it.